Hey, what's up? I'm Zweevil. This will be a for Mask Shards current patch video tutorial. I'm the current world record holder for this category, and I'll be going very in depth into some of the strats and micro optimizations that we do in this category. Don't be afraid by the length of this video. There is just a lot of stuff, but it's not all that hard. So let's just jump right in with King's Pass. You can side slash these doors on the current patch, which is really nice. Just like walk through here. Make sure I'm not getting hit by the tick-ticks, because I'm offside now, those are in a weird spot. I'm gonna try and get a good turnaround here. You can pull with this background object if you want to make it appear in a different way. Don't know why I do that though. Yeah, let's try to get a good turnaround here. Don't frame grid it too bad if you're having trouble with it. Now here's a little thing. This is the background object pogo right here that will make you able to land up here instantly. It isn't that hard. Just don't jump too late, because like something like this will happen. You'll bonk the wall and that loses a little bit of time. So try to avoid doing that. Yeah, there's not much to it. Other than that, don't pogo too early like I did just now. And this is a pretty important part of King's Pass. This is the Vengefly pogo. And you're gonna have to teach some like general visual cues for when you can jump to lure it like this. Oh. And for when you have to fall to lure it like this. So something that I use for that is I look where exactly the Vengefly is, and if it's either in the middle between these two platforms, which is the range in which it can spawn and float. If it's in the middle or more to the left than that, I always drop down to lure it. But if it's any more to the right than that, I do a jump. Yeah, I'll try to show a few examples here. Yeah, it was a bit more to the right there, so I could lure it with a jump. I poked it a bit too early, but that's okay. It was very much to the left there, so I did it with just falling down. Here I can do a jump again. Right, so once you made it up here, there's another Vengefly that we're gonna have to avoid, which is this one. So optimally, this Vengefly is not at all in your way, and you can just like go here without having to bonk this platform or like pull the Vengefly or anything. But often enough, it will be in your way, and a few ways that you can deal with that are poking it like this and continuing. You can also wait a bit longer, then bonk the ball here a little bit, like that. Or you can do something which I think is really cool, where you just damage tank through it. Let's see if I can get the bad RNG here so I can show it off. Yeah, anyway, you just damage tank and you wait here, so you can poke up like this. This is not the normal way. Normally you would just go like this and then do a turnaround here, which I will also explain something about in a second. But because you damage tanked, the Vengefly is way closer to you, and you'll be able to do this pogo and save a little bit of time. So that's a cool tech that you can use if you want. Now for this, this turnaround, it's a pretty ordinary turnaround, but there is something special about it, which is this nil turnaround. So basically, what a nil turnaround is when you hit a wall, you get a lot more velocity from when you're normally walking. So this is normally walking, and then this is with a nil turnaround. And that we can use that here. So what we do is we try to jump on here perfectly and slash the wall and turn around as fast as possible, which would look something like this. And in a run, it would be around this. Oh, something like that. Just come up here, and you'll do something like that. It is very, very minor time save. It's around 0.05 seconds. So definitely don't worry about that if you can't get it. It is a really big micro optimization. So yeah. Alright, so for the next part here, this is there's a breakable floor here, obviously, as you most likely know. And you're gonna want to get a soft fall here. So normally if you fall off here, oh no, that is actually RNG if you hard fall there or not, but usually if you just fall off here and walk forward, you will hard fall like that. And that is very slow. You just want to avoid that, obviously. So there is a setup you can do that'll make you soft fall every single time. Although it is a bit slower than just walking forward. Basically, you just want to walk on here and jump right before the ground breaks, and then land on the upper platform. Like that. There's a ton of different setups for it. This is my usual setup. Going like that. You also obviously want to land as far to the right here as possible. Basically, want to just clip the corner like that, you know. But there's like a lot of setups. I've seen people do this, for example, something like that. I don't know. Just figure out your own way to do it. Doesn't really matter how. Just make sure to get it optimally. And then there's like I did just now. If you just hold forward, there is the chance is about 1 in 4 usually, but it's FPS dependent. So it's kind of garbage. There is a chance that you soft fall there, so you can just hold forward and you won't hard fall. But this is usually it's not at all worth to go for. I definitely don't recommend doing it. Yeah. Unless you're on like a really good pace and you're looking for some time save. Anyway. So next up, all that's left are these planks. But first something here. So you have just these normal jumps, gonna make your way over here. And then there's this jump. So you have to turn around here obviously. But it doesn't matter at all how optimally you get this jump, because no matter, well, I mean, I guess if you're over here, you won't, but usually you'll just bonk this wall anyway. So you can stand here and bonk the wall, or you can be here and bonk the wall, and it's all for the exact same amount of time. So it really doesn't matter how optimally you do this, because you'll come out on top here anyway, just as fast. So don't worry about that. And then there's this. This is pretty important. These are pre-slashes, and I'll turn on the hitboxes for this. Basically what a pre-slash is walking your nail hitbox into an object. So, you see I can't hit it here, but I can like walk my nail hitbox into it. Like that. And this is something that you both want to do on these planks and the big door here. It saves very little time. But it is pretty cool to go for. And like I said, if you care about micro optimizations, that's definitely something worth to go for. So a way you can hear if you get it is if you like normally you'd hear the sound of your nail swinging like this and the door being hit at the same time like that. But if you get the pre-slash correctly, it'll sound like that. I don't know how easy that is to hit, but basically you'll hear your nail swing just a bit before you hear the door being hit. And this saves time because it'll allow us to do like 2 hits on the door in quicker succession, because you did one of your nail swings earlier. It's off cooldown earlier while you hit the door later than you were actually swinging, basically. Alright, so when we made it out of KP, we're just gonna make it through Dirt Mouth. Right, okay, so you can do something called an inventory hardfall cancel here if you're on 1.4, where you just open your inventory and close it really quickly once you hit the ground. This is not possible on 1.5 or higher. It says around 0.4. You're just gonna do jumps here to avoid the slow zone. Then here you want to do a pre-jump into the well. Just gonna make your way through this room holding left. Not super hard, just some normal jumps, avoiding the tick-tick there. And then this room is pretty important and also pretty hard to pull off. You're gonna want to do a pre-jump here, and then inventory drop there. So, like I said, it is kind of hard. Inventory drops are frame perfect, so backing it up like that, like if you miss it once, and you back it up, like you miss it, and you go for it and hit it, it loses that. Well, no, it doesn't lose time. Doesn't lose time over not getting it first try and like completely missing it like this. So getting it second try is still around 0.3 seconds faster than that. Yeah, you wanna honestly just practice this a lot until you get it consistently. I'm also not like 100% consistent at it. Right. You can get fucked over by this Gruzzer here. Sometimes it'll be in your way. So in that case, you don't wanna pre-jump, but you wanna up slash it and just walk off, which is kind of annoying because it does lose time. And also that one can be annoying. Basically, there is a small chance that you get shitty Gruzzer RNG here, and you lose a bunch of time. But yeah, not much to it other than just pre-jump here and do an inventory drop there. And don't cancel it early like that. I'll be doing this a couple more times to show it off. Right, yeah, this Gruzzer can also be pretty mean. So that's basically how I want to do that room. And for this next room, oh, sorry, hold up. For this next room, there is, it's actually pretty hard, and I'll show you why. This is the room where we collect the first grub. So here, there is a pogo that you can do. To get to the Vengefly quicker. And basically, we want to use this Vengefly here. This Vengefly that's up here. We want to use it to pogo and get to the grub like this. And then don't miss the grub. Like that. There we go. But there is a way to get to the Vengefly quicker than just like going around like this. This is current patch exclusive. This doesn't exist on 1.221. You can pogo this tick with a really precise jump. Here we go. Right, so basically you can pogo this tick with a precise jump here. You kind of want to get coyote frames, and you can go like that. It is a really tight jump, and it'll definitely take you some practice. You can back it up by pogoing the background object and then pogoing the tick, which I guess I'll show here. Never mind, I hit it. Yeah, so that does save a lot of time. I want to say it saves around a second. So it is pretty huge. And if you fall, you can always just go around like that, avoiding that tick. That Vengefly's starting position is RNG. so that can also kind of fuck you over. But basically, that's how the tick tick pogo works. You want to stop holding right, like you jump here and you keep holding right, and you want to stop holding right once you reach the spot where you pogo the tick tick. You just want to hold down there, because otherwise you'll run into the tick tick and lose time. Just like that. So that's basically how the tick tick pogo works. It's not super hard with some practice. You'll be able to get it pretty consistently. So then there's the part that is pogoing to the grub and hitting it. You really don't need to land on the platform of the grub. You can just side slash it and fall down after you pogo the venge fly to it. And this is how it looks optimally. Oh, hold up. That was kind of bad. You want to position yourself to the right of this platform. Then wait for the venge fight to come really close to you, and jump like this. Then stand here to the right. Wait for the venge fight to come really close to you. Then jump. Pause a bit in the air, like I'm doing here. Pause a bit. Pogo. Continue and side slash. If you keep holding right here, you won't be able to pogo it, so that's why you gotta pause a bit in the air. So if you're having trouble with this, you can do it with 2 pogos, and it loses like 0.5 or 0.6 seconds. It's not super bad. I don't recommend doing it though. I recommend just learning it the right way. Hold up. Yeah, just if you mess up in any way, you can always back it up with a second pogo. And then, like I said, you just want to side slash the grub and fall down here. And continue through the rest of the room, holding left. Alright, so for Mawlek, I'm gonna do the movement towards Mawlek and the fight itself in like a separate like thing. Basically, it just starts off here. It isn't super hard. You just want to jump here. And then here you want to fall down from this flat onto this one. And it won't give you a hard fall. It'll always soft fall you. But if you just hold right here, you will fall like this. So what you want to do is do a pre-jump here. Hold up. That's kind of rude. What you want to do is do a pre-jump here. Stop moving for a little bit. And then continue holding left. Sorry, I said right, so I meant left. If the grubs are being rude to you here, by the way, you can't like continue here just holding left. You can fall down and jump here. It won't lose you time because you're still just holding the right direction. So you want to pre-jump here. Stop moving for a little bit. And hold left. And it'll just land you on that platform. Pretty simple. Then for this room, it is pretty RNG, but you can usually avoid the gruzzers. Just wanna, once again, hold left. Then do optimally 2 pogos up to this. If you're having trouble with the 2 pogos, you can do it with 3. It is a lot more comfy, but it does lose around 0.5, so don't really recommend doing it. For the 2 pogo strat, you want to just do a full jump and do your pogos. If you do it earlier, it'll be a lot tighter, but you can still make it. I don't know. Like that, yeah. You'll fail it if you pogo too quickly. Then do a pre-jump here. You land here, you'll do a pre-jump and continue on. So I'll just show this entire room one more time. See, I'm still like, even though the Gruzzers are kind of bullying me, I still avoided that because I was moving left the entire time and I was just doing a few things to avoid the Gruzzers. It will not lose you time. Just as long as you keep moving left. Alright. So for this room, it isn't that hard. Just wanna jump when you're at the end of this platform and you'll make it around the spikes. Hard fall there. Let's show that one more time. Jump when you're at the end of these spikes, turn around here, do hard fall there, and then you wanna pogo these spikes and get up to this little ledge. You don't wanna fall before it, so you just wanna, when you land here, you just wanna keep holding right. It is not that hard of a room. Pretty simple. Alright, so now for Mawlek, you're just gonna make your way over here from this. Just gonna walk over here. Mawlek is probably the hardest part of this run. It is also very, very in-depth. And there's a lot of details and marker optimizations. I'll be going over all of them here. Don't be afraid though. Mawlek is, there are very simple strats you can follow that make it not as bad. But I'll first be going over like the simple strat, the pretty slow strat, but if you're a beginner, this is completely fine to go for. You're just gonna start by jumping up here. You go 2 hits, walk away 2 hits, walk away 2 hits. It's basically just gonna continue to do that. Yeah, it's... You're just gonna be walking away to avoid the slash that Mawlek gives you. So that is how the fight looks like with slower strats. And now we'll be showing the optimal damage cycle. This is really hard to pull off, but it is super worth to learn because it saves a shit ton of time over the other strat. Okay. A couple mistakes in that fight, but as you can see, what I was doing is hitting Mawlek continuously while jumping to avoid the slashing attack with its claw. The hitbox for Mawlek's slash is kind of round, so even though it's like wide around the middle or lower part, it's way thinner above, so you're kind of just jumping above it. It is the damage cycle. It is gonna take you a lot of practice if you want to pull this off consistently. I'll do the fight 1 or 2 more times with hitboxes on, so you can see how exactly I'm avoiding the slashes. Alright. Show that off one more time. Again, few mistakes in that one, but should still give you a general idea of what that looks like with hitbox and how you avoid Mawlek's attacks. So now going over the individual like Mawlek attacks and how to avoid those. The start is already one of the hardest parts because it is partially RNG, and even though it's like usually you can avoid it, it is also, in very rare cases, unavoidable to get hit or lose a bit of time. So, I'll be showing it here. You want to jump up to this ledge. Do the damage rotation with 2 hits, and Mawlek will then like spit one little attack, and Mawlek will consistently be walking to the left towards you. So if there is if Mawlek's first or second spit is very close to you and Mawlek is already also walking towards you, you can get fucked over pretty hard, or you can lose some time because you'll have to avoid it or get hit. And yeah, you're just gonna have to get a feel for how to avoid that. You can usually just wiggle around, but it is pretty annoying. So Mawlek has 2 main big attacks, other than its swing and the infection blob spit. These 2 attacks are the big spit, where it shoots really large infection blob, or like a lot of infection blobs at the same time, and it doesn't attack while it's doing it, and it can do a jump where it just jumps twice consecutively. These attacks are both kind of like, you really want to get as little of these as possible, because you can get 100% consecutive hits in, like, without any, without it being interrupted, basically, if it's not doing those attacks. But there is a chance that you'll not be able to get those hits in consistently if it does the attack. But I'll be showing off the strat for how to optimally deal with these attacks, starting with the big spit. There are 2 main strats for the big spit. I'll be showing off the first one here now, which is basically just swinging at it, at Mawlek, until the big infection blob comes close to you and the ground, and you want to pogo it once, and then fall back and continue the damage rotation. This is about how it looks like. I'll show it a couple more times there, so you can just get a basic idea of how it works and the timing frame. Okay. So that's basically what the pogo strat looks like. You can come it really close. Something else noteworthy here is the normal, like, jumping and hitting attack, like, rotation. Oh yeah, something I forgot to mention about that first is it doesn't really matter when you hit Mawlek during jumps. It just matters that you time the jumps correctly. It really doesn't matter when or where you hit Mawlek, as long as you're getting the jumps and avoiding the slash. But anyway, what I wanted to say, it's easier to do that damage rotation with the slashes and the jumps when Mawlek is moving away from you. If Mawlek is moving towards you, it can be a lot harder. So with a big spit, if you do the pogo strat, you get an opportunity to pogo Mawlek over to the other side. If Mawlek was moving towards you. So how Mawlek works, if it does a big spit and it was moving towards you before it was doing the big spit, it'll continue moving the same way it was before the attack. So let's just say it was moving left, it does the big spit attack, it'll always keep moving left before, it hits the corner of the platform, and it'll start moving the other way again. So if it was moving towards you and it does the big attack, you can just pogo over it to make stuff a bit easier for you after the big split, because that doesn't really lose time over falling back the same way you were before. It's just optimal in that case, or just more comfy basically. Now I will be showing off the harder and also kind of RNG strat for a big spit. I don't usually go for this. In rare cases I do, but usually not. It consists of upslashing Mawlek and standing very close to it. Right, so I got good RNG there. That's basically what it looks like. Yeah, usually you'll get the RNG, which is also why it's really not worth going for. There, I got it. It is optimal over the other strat, because when you're pogoing, you're missing time where you could be doing middle swings. You basically want to be standing as close as possible to Mawlek as well. See, there I would have gotten it, but I messed up. It is just an inconsistent and shitty strat, but in rare cases, it is pretty worth to go for. Right, so that was Mawlek's big spit attack. Now I'll be going over how to optimally deal with the jump attack. There are two strats for this as well. I'll be showing off the easy strat first again. As you can see there, when Mawlek does a jump, as I mentioned earlier, it does 2 jumps in a row. And after the first jump, when it lands, with this strat, you'll do 2 hits, then wait for it to jump again, and then when it's in the air, do 1 more hit. Like when it's at the top or falling down again, do 1 more hit, then 3 hits on the ground. And continue your normal damage cycle. This is not optimal. There is actually a way to squeeze 1 more hit in there, but it is a lot harder. It is really consistent though. It is 100% consistent, which is really nice. It saves about 0.4 because 1 nail swing also saves about 0.4. I'll be showing that off now. So, as you can see there, you can fit one extra hit in at when it's landing. So normally when it's landing, you do 2 hits, like I said, then 1 hit when it's at the top or falling down, and then 3 more hits on the ground. But with this strat, what you're doing is you're doing 1 hit when it's falling down from the first jump, then one when it's on the ground, and you're gonna jump and up slash as quick as possible to get a 3rd hit in while it's still going up during the 2nd jump. And then when it's falling down, you're gonna do 4 hits. So that's gonna be 3 hits and 4 hits instead of 2 hits and 4 hits. Like I said, strat's a lot harder. You just want to practice it a lot. I think it's worth to practice, but it's not. It's like 0.4 each time, so not super major. Alrighty, so Grub 2. This split is super straightforward, not at all hard. There are some small things, I guess, but it is just generally not a hard split. You're gonna start off by, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. You just want to start off by grabbing this Mask Shard that Mawlek drops from the right. What's kind of stupid about this, sometimes your hitbox will just kind of get sucked into it, but this time, as you can see, it aligned really well, but it's kind of stupid. When I did a lot of ILs of this split, I noticed that sometimes you'll just pick it up, but you'll be kind of in the hitbox like this, and it'll lose you time since you have to travel to the right more. But that's like really minor. That was like IL stuff. So it doesn't really matter for full runs. You just want to pick it up to the from the right and continue to move here. So this hitbox, way like you think you'd hit it here because you're pretty much hitting the planks, but the hitbox is a lot behind the planks. Like this. See this? It's so dumb. But you want to pre-slash here, like in KP. It's not super hard, but yeah, I just want to do some pre-slashes here, then continue to move here. What you're gonna do here is do a pre-jump. That was not super clean. Just want to do a pre-jump like that. Well, like that. It's not super hard. Hold forward here, pre-jump, and then when you come here, unfortunately, this is an RNG soft fall. And, you know, you can either hard fall or soft fall, you can't really do much about it. You're just gonna have to, the chance does feel like it's about 50-50. Yeah, you're just gonna have to hope for a soft fall. That's basically that room. Let me show it one more time. I'm coming out of here. You jump. Go for a soft fall. And so for this room, for the first part, you're just gonna hold left. For the entire room, you're gonna keep holding left, but you'll avoid that going pretty nice, and you wanna. Oh, hold on, I messed it up. You're gonna do that. You're gonna do a jump and a pogo to avoid the dome. So if you're having troubles with this, it is fine to wait for the golem, although I do not recommend it since this jump is not that hard. It is really not that bad. Doesn't really matter where you jump in. You can even jump from here. Still do it, although I'm not entirely consistent at that. The rest of the room is pretty simple. Just want to hold left the entire time as usual. And then for this last room, most of it is pretty simple, but the ending for the grub jar. Hitting it is a bit like hard sometimes. So what you want to do here is there is a hazard respawn here. Hazard respawn is like if you fall into acid or spikes, it will respawn you somewhere. But the hazard respawn for this room will be around here. So it'll be faster to just dunk in the acid there than it will be to walk all the way back. And you're just gonna want to not stand this. You don't want to stand this platform. That'll just lose you time. You wanna hold left, and then while you're falling, you wanna hit the grub jar. So it looks about like this. That is doing it very optimally though, and it is sort of tight. And yeah, you can. It's honestly completely fine, however you do it. You can do it like that. Shouldn't lose that much time. Just frame greeting it is generally good, since you know that'll probably save you time. But doing it completely fine, doing it like that, for example, is completely fine. It just don't stand on the platform, since that will lose 0.3 seconds or something. Also, something important to know, I guess, if you go too far to the right here, it won't or hazard respawn you all the way over there. We'll just hazard respawn you here. I don't know what the exact trigger is. Okay, it seems to be like here. If you cross this, it'll respawn you back here. So you want to avoid that. That is basically all there is to the Grub 2 split. Alright, so after you have hit the grub jar, you will hazard respawn over here. So from here, just gonna walk out the room, and you'll have to do this again, like you did on the way here. But it's a lot easier. You can even do it while just falling. You don't even have to really jump. It's not at all tight. So you don't really need to. I mean, if you can pull off the first one, you really don't need to practice that. And the second goal will also just be nice to you. It's not much to it. For here, I mean, you can do a jump like this, but it's annoying to miss and stuff. So usually we just jump up here. You're still holding right the entire time, so it doesn't really matter, but you know, if you really want to jump down here, that's fine. Just for Aspid Arena, really simple. Current patch Aspid Arena is not hard at all. First of all, coming into this room, just wanna, I mean, I do a jump here, but it doesn't really matter. You can just fall down as well. Oh, that was kind of bad. Just want to kill the first Aspid. Oh. And then go down here to this platform. And do that. It is, on current patches, not hard at all. Usually you're gonna want to just pogo that first Aspid 3 times. It is nice if the Aspids get stuck on this little platform. Like if you pogo it and it gets stuck on the platform, so it doesn't go all the way down. That's nice. And yeah, for double spike, so the timing is a bit RNG. There is a random pause that you can get if you get unlucky. But usually it's not that bad. You can wait. If you're not comfortable with the timing yet, you can wait until you actually see the Aspids, until you start like jumping up to the platform to hit the spike. Like that, you'll usually be fine. So yeah, there's not much to that. After that, you don't really need to worry about the geo, because we get enough geo in total. We need 150 geo to buy the Mask Shard from Sly, and we get exactly that from Gruz Mother geo and Grub Father geo. It is nice to get a little bit of geo, because there's always the possibility of Gruz Mother's geo to get stuck in the ceiling. But usually you'll be fine, and you'll pick up some geo here anyway, so don't really worry about that. Now this is the hard part of the Shard 2 split. The Gome Room and hitting the right cycles. So I'll be explaining a bunch of stuff about it here. You want to start off by doing just the right jumps to avoid all the gomes on their Revenge Fly, which looks like this. You wanna like jump when you hit this patch of grass. You can like pause and look at that. I usually just start jumping when I'm about here. About here. On the start of this patch of grass, I start jumping. I don't do a full jump. Well, actually, yeah, okay. No, you can full jump here, and you'll make it over the first gome if you buffer another full jump here. But honestly, I don't recommend doing 2 full jumps. I recommend doing 1 full jump and then a smaller jump. Because you want to, like, if you do a full jump, you'll be cutting it way closer with the second gome. So, like, this is what it looks like if I do 2 full jumps. See, that might happen sometimes. So what you kind of just want to do is try to cut it really close over the first gome like that, and you'll be completely fine there. And you want to pogo over the first gome and make it past the third one, which should be pretty free. Then for the luring the Venge Fly, the position of the Venge Fly is RNG, and it might miss you a cycle, which I'll show you something about that in a second. But that is not extremely important. It's like it loses a bunch of time. But if you're struggling with luring the Venge Fly, don't worry about that. That's what the lure looks like. So what I usually do, I pogo the first gome 3 times. So I get the Venge Fly's attention like this. Pogo 3 times, 2 times, and then 2 times. Make it up here, jump, like wait a little bit for the Venge Fly to come to you, jump, and pogo to make it up there. I think that probably wouldn't have made the good cycle. So these golems here have a global cycle, which basically means like once you come into the room, they start moving in a certain way and they don't like pause. It just keeps moving. And there's one specific cycle, which is the fastest one that you want to hit. And it's not tight at all. It is pretty free to hit that cycle, as long as you don't really mess anything up in your setup. If you get really bad RNG on the Venge Fly, it is possible to miss it just because of that. But usually that won't happen. So that's what the good cycle looks like. I'll show it one more time. I think that's not making it because of the... Yeah. That was an example of the absolute worst RNG, where it is basically impossible to make it. cut it a bit close there, but still made it. So that's about how that looks like. And now I will be showing the entire Golem Gauntlet and kind of how that works. So when you make it here, you just want to jump up here, wait here, and the side of these can't actually hit you here, as you can see. So usually you'll make it here in time, and you'll just do this, like, you'll go like that, you'll fall to the side, and you'll be completely fine. You wanna wait. We made it past here, we're gonna wait here for this guy to disappear, and then go over here. Alright, so, this is the part where it really gets interesting, because there are two main strats that can be used here. The first one is a more safer strat, and the second one is a way riskier strat, where you do 2 damage tanks. I'll be showing the first one here. Let's walk over here, heal once, go like this. Oh, don't do that. Hold up. Walk over here, heal once, take it past, and do a jump here. So you want to do a pre-jump here. When you're around here, you want to do a pre-jump and make it in here. It's faster, obviously, than just like walking off here. That's what the save strat looks like. It loses a ton of time, because you're basically just going a cycle later than when you're doing the damage tank strat. And this is what the damage tank strat looks like. And then you continue on. So there's actually a variation to the damage tanking strat where you are so fast that you avoid getting hit by these guns. This is really tight. Like I said, it's pretty hard to hit. So when you're coming out of this, for example, come out of this, like this, it's especially hard to hit because you're still walking and everything. It is honestly really tight, and you know, I do get it in my world record, but that can happen. So you know, you really honestly don't usually want to go for it. You're obviously gonna try to get this as close as possible, just in the first place. But if you are deliberately not going for it, you kind of want to jump at the end. You just want to jump at the end of this in general, so you can get the damage tank upwards. Same goes for this, and don't jump too high like I did there. You just want to do a mini hop, time it well, and get over here. I'll show that 1 or 2 more times, and then I'll explain. See, okay. Then I'll explain another piece of tech there that we use. Right, so. That's how it looks optimally. So now for the last part of this split, it's actually really hard, but there is a little tech that you can do called the static slasher, or milter, however you want to call it. It looks like that. You want to hit the wall so you keep your momentum, like I explained in King's Pass, and use it to fall onto the Mask Shard instantly. It's really hard to hit. It's super perfect, and it saves about a second. So it is actually a lot of time save. I'll try to show it a couple times here. Okay. That's what happens if you do the turnaround really badly. So for your positioning here, you don't want to be all the way to the left, because what will happen if you're all the way to the left? You'll miss a platform, basically, or you'll miss the other wall. Your nail length is not long enough to hit the wall while you're all the way like to the left here. So you kind of want to be a bit away from that. And also, if you slash the wall too high, you will bonk the wall here, and it'll like this. If you slash too high here, you'll bonk the wall, and it'll make you miss it basically. So you wanna be just the spot you're on the stand is pretty precise, like the spot where you want to fall. Maybe around there. And then hitting the wall, it doesn't, as long as it's not too early, doesn't really matter when you hit the wall and where. Just as long as your positioning as well and your turnaround is really well. Like that. Like I said, it saves about a second. It's worth the practice, but trust me, you'll probably not get consistent at it. I'm not very consistent at it either. I have like a... In runs I usually get it like 30% of the time. So yeah, it's like... So yeah, it's up to you. If you want to go for this, there is a strat to avoid getting a hard fall, which is that. You just want to hold right, fall into this ledge, and then jump to pick up the thing. But I honestly don't even know how much time that saves over, you know, just hard falling and missing the static slash. So yeah, that basically concludes the Shard 2 split. I think it's the longest split in the category. Maybe yeah, okay, yeah, it is. It is really hard. There is so much stuff in this split. It's really unbelievable. You just want to practice a lot of this stuff really well, because it can really mess you up big time. Alright, so on to Gruz Mother. So okay, great. Also something to show here. Just put my save thing here. Something to show here, something of note. This hitbox is like gigantic, right? You see, it's the opposite of the hitbox from the Mawlek room. It is really huge, which is nice. You can hit this. Oh gosh, that's not supposed to happen. Whatever. You can hit this without standing still, like bonking the wall. It is super free. No need to really practice this. You can just like do that. So for this, like I said earlier, you will hit a pretty generous cycle if you get the static slash. Okay, it seems I got a pretty generous cycle there as well. But that's about what the cycle looks like if you get the static slash. Something like that. Oh yeah, and something else of note. since you only did one pogo on the Vengefly, usually it will be here. Usually it'll be here, and you'll have to up slash it to avoid getting hit. So jump here. This is a pre-jump. Pre-jump here. Pre-jump here. Up slash, and then make it over here. Can't easily like put the Vengefly here, but it is. The exit on this always feels inconsistent, to be honest. You can do some pogos like that. Yeah, just like, I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna kind of have to improvise this room, to be honest. Waiting a little isn't that bad here. It's just an inconsistent room. This room is the same as any percent. It's really simple. Just like go like this, jump here. It's really easy. No need to like put any time into that, to be honest, if you already know the movement. Now for this, there is one thing here. So you just wanna like fall down here, and then once you make it past this here platform, you want to hold right. So once you get past this platform, you start going right immediately. Just kind of want to hold back here, because otherwise you'll land on this platform. So wait a bit here and start holding right. Make sure you don't fall on this platform here, which can also happen sometimes. I don't fucking know. Yeah, so after you do that, up slash this guy, make it into this room. So one more thing of note here. That is an RNG softball. At least I'm pretty sure it is. Don't go for this. I usually get a hard fall here. It is extremely annoying that this is RNG softball, because, you know, it would be a pretty cool pre-jump. It's like, just don't go for that. It saves 0.2 or loses 0.8. It is not worth it. For Gruz Mother, you're gonna have to improvise as well. I'll show a couple of fights so you can get a general idea, and there are also a few strats that you can go for. So here, I'll show a couple of fights with different RG. Great. That was a decent pattern. You just never want Gruz Mother to go up, because if she does go up, you can do this. Sorry, I messed it up. You can start pogoing Gruz Mother, and going up with her. Like that. And then for this attack, you want to basically follow that pattern where you hit her in the side each time. Like, jump and hit. It doesn't save. It doesn't, like, it's kind of slow, but it's the best you can do. And if she's walking towards you, you can like up slash her, or you can like up slash while walking away, or you can do small turnarounds. Yeah, this fight is pretty simple. Just gotta get some good RNG. You also kind of want to predict sometimes what Gruz Mother will do. Like, it's really hard to see if she will either do the rushing attack, where she just rushes towards you, or the head bouncing attack. That was a good fight. It's fine to damage tank here if you have 2 health. Obviously, if you have 1 health, don't damage tank, you'll die. The fight should just be pretty consistent. even though you can get pretty fucked over by RNG, especially in the start, where she just floats up. If you want to do the focus, you're gonna kind of have to predict that as well, or just react to it. But like, be aware of the fact that she can go up. Don't just like no-brain it. Like, focus on if she will go up or not, because you need to react pretty quickly if you want to do the pogos. If you see her going up. Oh yeah. That's also something I should mention. She can get like stuck in the ceiling or in the corner here. Like in any of the corners, Gruz Mother can get stuck. If she gets stuck in the top here, or in the top there, like, you're kind of fucked, because it'll just lose you a bunch of time. But if she gets stuck, yeah. Oh wow, okay. Apparently it can happen there as well. Just anywhere on the ceiling. It's really annoying since it'll just lose you time since you can't really hit her that easily over there without losing a ton of time. If she gets stuck on the floor though, you can just keep hitting her. It's pretty free. Oh. And then you can heal up after this since you'll always have full health. Or, sorry, full soul. Yeah. Something I should mention. If this is like you can make it worth, I guess, but it's not super important. For the Gruz cleanup, this is the most RNG part of the run. It's like insanely RNG. For the Gruz cleanup, you want Gruz Mother to be in the corner, and I guess with this we're also moving on to the next split, which is Sly Rescued. This entire split is basically just cleanup. It really sucks, but for the cleanup you ultimately want Gruz Mother to be in one of the corners, because if she's in the middle and all the Gruzzers come out in the middle, they will just float around everywhere to each side, and it'll suck. But if Gruz Mother's in the corner and all the Gruzzers come out in the corner, they will like bounce off the wall and whatnot, and it'll make it way less RNG, even though it's still really RNG. So a way to manipulate where Gruz Mother dies is looking at which way she's facing when you kill her. So if you kill Gruz Mother facing to the left, she will explode, like she will die and bounce off to the right. But if you kill her when she's facing right, she will bounce and explode to the left. And you can kind of manipulate her to be in some of the corners then. Like, I want to kill Gruz Mother. Okay, so I kind of miss it there. But you want to kill Gruz Mother when she's like facing the wall, pretty close to the wall. So she landed not super good here. Like, it's obscure, but you can use it in some way, maybe. See, that is, like, decent, because Gruz Mother will now land about here. Yeah. See, that's fine. You can just keep an eye on that. And then for Gruz cleanup, so what you want to do is stand about here. I'd say this is a good spot to stand. And what you want to do is you want to time your first slash and do a jump slash. And then land and do a normal slash. And then just clean everything up. I want to say a 6-hit cleanup or lower is really good. In my recce I got a 6-hit cleanup, which saved a ton of time. My ComSoB has a 3-hit cleanup, which is just like insane. You need to have really good RNG for that. Okay, that was 5 hits, but there was a delay. between the 4th and the 5th hit, so it wasn't that great. Right. Cool. She'll just land in the middle now. That's like pretty bad. Yeah, that's not a great spot. So, another important thing... Oh, I should have mentioned this for Mawlek as well. Gruz Mother dies in 18 hits, and Mawlek dies in 60 hits. You can count it if you want. On Mawlek, it's not worth. That was decent. Like, yeah. There was not much to Gruz cleanup other than just get lucky and do the slashes correctly. I guess you can practice it, although that's up to you. I don't know how worth that would be. Yeah. So after you did the Gruz cleanup, if you end the Gruz cleanup close to this wall, you have time for one heal before the door opens. But if you're more to the right, or sorry, to the left here, you just want to walk, and you'll still like make it in time for the door to be not opened when you get there, but you won't have time for a heal. Yeah. After the cleanup, just go here, hold right, wait for the door to open. Around here, in between the fence, the little fencing here, and this wall, this background wall, I'm gonna do a pre-jump here. Oh, that was way too small. Just want to do a pre-jump here. No, that's fine. And you want to make your way over here. Just avoid these. So there can be one husk in a particularly annoying spot here. I'll just take a save state here so I can see if I can get it. The slide door interaction is pretty weird. Like you can interact with it from really early. Like from here, you can already interact with it. So let's say there is a shitty husk there in that location. You know, it's not that bad to avoid it. You can interact super early. Yeah. And if you're confident that you'll get hit, which definitely can happen, you can just kill it, I guess. Loses like a second, so it's not horrible. Yeah, that's all there is to Sly Rescued. Just enter, rescue Sly, tech smash, and walk out the door. Okay, for Grub 3. Grub 3 is a really cool split in my opinion. I like it a lot. You're just gonna head out of here, jump up here. You can pre-slash this. Hold up, let me go back to my save state here. Let me actually make a new save state. So you can jump up here. That was a pre-slash. You can pre-slash that. And you want the last one to be a pogo. You want to do a side slash, up slash, pogo. And just like clip the wall here, like bonk on the wall. To assure you're getting it optimally. Shouldn't be too bad. Just like try to not side slash here. Since that'll happen. You'll like go like this. That loses time. It loses a bit of time. You can practice if you want. It shouldn't be your main practice point though. Then jump up here. Try to get a good turnaround on this. And enter here to your left. I'm gonna jump. Okay, so I'll just show this room once. There are two strats for this room. One of them is RNG. This is the non-RNG strat. It's pretty simple. Show it one more time. So you just want to when I get in here, just do like simple jumps up. Most of these you're gonna bonk the ball. So like I explained earlier with KP, it's not bad if you miss that. Like here as well, you're gonna usually bonk the ball like that, here and here. So don't worry about getting good turnarounds here. Just like try to not miss the jumps basically. Jump all the way over here. This one will consistently get in this spot so you can pogo it. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can go like this and then do a pre-jump from there. Shouldn't lose time, but I feel like the pogo is a bit more consistent since you can accidentally bonk the upper platform, which loses just a bit of time. Then do a pre-jump here. This pre-jump is pretty important, since otherwise you'd be bonking this platform a little bit like this. Now for the RNG strat. I go for this in runs. It is not that bad. Unless I'm on like a really good pace, I don't go for it. But basically it consists of jumping here, hoping the Aspen Mother is in a good position, and then jump and pogo to get on the upper platform. I'll try to get it here. Yeah. It was in a shitty position there. There we go. That's what the RNG strat looks like. It saves like, I want to say 0.4. When I timed it, it saved about 0.4 over the normal strat. It really isn't that bad, but you can't really do the pogo on the Aspen Mother like you normally would, like in the non-RNG strat. If it's very close to the bottom like that, you'll usually miss it. I have heard rumors about a pogo up to this being done before, but I don't see how that's even possible. So I'm just gonna assume that's a myth. Yeah, there's not much to this room other than that. You can like go like this as well instead of going the non-RNG way. You can do a different version of it, going like this. Shouldn't really matter. Although the Aspen Mother can get in your way like that, so yeah. So for this last room here, this is kind of gonna overlap with the Grub 4 split, but you're gonna be standing. You're gonna do 1 pogo here, then 3 pogos here, and a visual cue for when I can hit the Grub is for like you can do pre-slashes on Grub jars. Something important that I haven't said yet. Something that I use as a visual cue. I do my 3 pogos here. 1, 2, 3. Then when I see that I am about in front of like this, when I'm like right here, you can hit it. You can start hitting it. When you're normally standing still, you can hit it when you're like right in front of the statue. Like if you're right here, you can hit it. But if you're coming towards it, you can go like this and pre-slash it. I was like right here when I started hitting, and I still hit it. Yeah. And now for something very important here. This saves about a second. I think it was 0.8. This is something called a hazard respawn early control, which you get if you inventory drop into a hazard. So, okay, so normally when you would drop into these spikes, you'll be locked out of movement for a little while you're like flashing and stuff. Like this, you see? I can't move, and now I can. But what inventory dropping into a hazard does for you, let's see if I can get it here. It makes you instantly able to move. And that saves about a second, but there's a little catch to this. We're gonna do it here. If you do it too fast, you'll fall out of bounds, like I just did right now. Like, I'm out of bounds right now, and your run is over if that happens. So you want to delay it a little bit. So if you go too fast, you will fall out of bounds. Sorry, missed it. Alright, this is again. But if you delay it just a little bit, you will not fall out of bounds. And it is, I want to say, if you go for this, do it like that, that's fine. And one way to tell you got it is if the, like, all the sound is gone here. Like, there is no sound except for the music, and if I hit a wall, it makes a little noise. It's really weird, don't know why that happens, but that's a good indicator for if you hit it. Obviously, you gotta hit the grub first, which makes it a lot harder even. So, let's see if I can get here. It would look like that. And, yeah, it is a pretty hard trick, because it's a frame-perfect inventory drop out of hitting this grub jar. Yep. And, you know, it's just like, if you miss it, it loses time over not doing it. So, like, if you do that, if you miss opening your inventory, or like if you open too early, it'll lose time. And if you just open it too late, but you're counting on the fact that you hit it, you can like mess up and fall down here. So just like, do you want to go for this? Sure, but doing it the normal way is fine. If you really don't have to do the early control. I didn't do it in my world record either. I was just way too afraid of, you know, falling out of bounds. It's too risky to everything, but if you're like desperately looking for time save in a bad run, definitely go for this. And also it's worth practicing because a second is a bunch of time save. So for the rest of the split, when you do actually hit this and don't out of bounds, you just want to jump up here. These jumps don't really matter because you're gonna bonk, but this turnaround does really matter. Just kill this guy. So this hitbox is just a bit weird. Like, it's way more to the right than it feels like. It's like these rocks don't really line up with the hitbox. So try to get this optimally. It's just your typical turnaround, to be honest. Go like this. That was a good turnaround. Then for this room, just hold left. Very simple. Last room there is something noteworthy here. You're gonna want to jump early here and do this. So normally you can see this would give you knockback, right? Normally it just gives you knockback, but if you hit it from far enough, it won't. Like this, you can see that does not give me knockback. And if you jump here, just jump from here, hit it really early. You can do that very quickly. and it's worth to go for. It's not that hard. Although if you do mess up and you fall like this down here, that does really suck. So I'd say just practice it and you'll be fine. Don't up slash. It's a bad idea. Yeah, it's like one side slash 3 up slashes. And for these guys, it's a random pattern for the 2 aspids. So they can either spawn like this, like apart, or together. You don't want them to be apart. Since, yeah, if they'll be together, they'll both be at the top. You don't need to kill these guys. Let's go like this. Don't frame rate this, it's not worth it. Go up to the wall, jump just high enough so that you can hit it. So you hit the grub jar, and continue on with the next bit, which is grub 4. No, sorry, this was grub 4. This is gonna be grub 5. Okay, so for grub 5, this movement is just a lot of tight turnarounds and everything, and partial RNG. This is how the first room looks like, what I just did now. The first room is instantly one of the hardest ones, because there's this turnaround, which is just a really tight turnaround that you're gonna have to hit. Show the hitbox again. These hitboxes make a bit more sense than the ones in the grub 4 room. It's not too bad. Just like practice it, and then this bench fight can be a total asshole. And really ruin your day. So you're gonna do this. And what you're gonna want to do is jump past this fence fly. Oh yeah, the tick can be in your way, or the crawlid, but usually it won't. Since if you're entering from this cycle, it'll consistently not be in your way. So unless you mess up somewhere, or get the spread out spawn, this guy will never be in your way. Right, I forgot to mention, so if you get the spread out spawn, you're gonna want to either kill the bottom one or damage tank once and hit it. Hit the grub jar. It shouldn't be too bad. So you're gonna do this, and jump to the right past the bench fly. Like, you're gonna jump here and jump to the right. So it is completely RNG if the bench fly will be in your way or not. Often enough, it will be in your way and it will suck. You'll be really sad. So if you see it coming, what you can do is just like up slash it or pogo it, and it feels really bad because it loses a ton of time. But you're gonna have to accept that, I guess. And then for the lever hitting, you basically just want to do it fast. You can pre-slash that as well. I'll try to show what that looks like. Like that. That's what pre-slashing the lever looks like. It's pretty tight, not too bad though. If you go too far to the left before hitting the lever, like if you hit the lever when you're really far to the left, you won't be able to get back on this platform like this, and you'll fall down here. Try to not do that. And jump up here. So there's 2 little routes for the ending part here. When you hit the lever, you can go inside here and make it, or you can go like from the outside and still make it before the door really opens. So you're completely fine, whichever method. Yeah, okay, so that's an example of the bad RNG. You can go like this and still make it before the door opens, right? So for this room is pretty simple, but it has a really nice visual cue for when to jump to hit this platform perfectly. You want to jump as soon as you get past this, like, you have the big background object here, and then you have the little fence. Like as soon as your full, as the knight hits the fence, like fully, you want to do a full jump. It's a really nice visual cue. In a run, it would look something like this. And then obviously you just get a nice turnaround on this platform. What can help is to like go like this. Like just take a wide turn or something here. Just so you don't bonk this and land here. Because if you bonk and hold forward, you'll land here. But if you do it like this, you can just land here. So yeah, one more time, that room would look like this. Right, and for this next room, it is also pretty straightforward. I usually use this background object as a visual cue for my jump, but you don't want to do a full jump here. You just want to do a small jump, or a smaller jump. It doesn't really matter since you're going to bonk this. So it doesn't matter really where you land, as long as you know, don't land like entirely here or something. So you don't want to do a full jump early on, because you'll bonk this wall. You'll bonk like this little section, and you won't make it up. So you want to jump from like here, and you'll be fine. Then do a short hop. This jump is actually pretty tight. If you want to do it optimally, you're just gonna do a really short hop, and it'll look like this. So up until there, the full section will look like this. Got bad RNG on that guy. Oh. Okay, and then like that's just your general movement. And then there was a little trick here at the end. There's a couple strats for this. So there's the big sentry guy here. You're gonna want to avoid getting hit by it, or do a small damage tank. I find the small damage tank, I guess it's worth. I don't go for it. You just do that. It's fine. Like, if you're not consistent at avoiding the hit, which I will show how to do in a second, you can go for this. The actual like good strat for this looks like this. Hit the grub jar. Obviously, you can also pre-slash this grub jar, but I don't really have a good visual cue for it, so I don't know. Choose if you want to do that yourself. I recommend doing this, going over this guy with 2 pogos like this, since it's a lot more consistent roll. It feels a lot easier than with 1 pogo. With 1 pogo it would look something like this. Yeah, I can't even pull it off. It's a lot easier with 2 pogos. So I definitely recommend learning this. Or just doing the 1 damage tank strat if you're on 1 health, or just like, I don't know, heal up. Or if you're confident enough with avoiding the hit, do that. So now we're moving on to the last 2 splits, which are really straightforward. Them being Grub. Sorry, no, Shard 3 and Shard 4. Alright, so for Shard 3, this split is really simple. There is one small tech that we do that I'll be explaining here as well. Basically, all you're gonna want to do is just when you arrive here, do it over the big guy and everything. And hit the grub, put out, and then you wanna position your mouse where the button is that you want to click, like this main menu button, and you want to spam mouse, and it'll give you like fast access. So it's kind of hard to hit this without any like visual cue. But after a bunch of practice, you'll probably be able to get it, and if not, I recommend using like a visual cue, as in like maybe stick like a note or whatever on the side of your screen, and basically just use something as a visual cue. It saves about 0.8 seconds, or not, more like 0.6 seconds each time you do it. You always just wanna, like, as soon as you hit the grub jar, you can pause. Whatever. As soon as you hit the grub jar, you can pause. So you just be walking here, do that, get out, position your mouse, and start clicking really fast. So the reason we're doing this is if you're either using controller or, you know, not. If you're using controller or keyboard, and you're normally clicking on current patch, you have to wait a while before you can really like access the rest of the menu. So for example, this is without mouse. This is how fast it would go. That's really slow compared to how it would if you do it with your mouse. So I really recommend learning this. Saves a ton of time. We actually do two quit outs in this run. So it saves about 1.2 to 1.5 seconds in total. It is super worth to go for. So yeah, I'll show the rest of the split now. It is not super hard. You just want to do the mouse quit out. Yeah, that's what we call it, by the way. We call it a mouse quit out. You want to do that part with the mouse as well, because it's just less confusing, unless you can like somehow pull it off. So you want to just spam here, jump to avoid the slow zone, do another pre-jump here like I explained at the beginning of the tutorial, so left again, here. I'm gonna go into the Grub Father room. So something about the Gruz room was maybe a bit noteworthy. You can really get fucked over by RNG here, although usually it's not that bad. It's like really easy to avoid. This is a big space. It isn't that bad. It's like, watch out a little bit. So over here, you just want to wait. You actually do need mostly all of the geo. So like, don't just leave any geo hanging, obviously. Then once it spawns the Mask Shard, it'll go here. It'll consistently always go here. So you want to stand like a little bit to the left of this like grub hole thing. And something else you should know. Once you can't jump yet. Once like the Mask Shard appears, you want to be standing on the ground, and then once the Mask Shard is like has stopped traveling, is standing still in the air, then you can jump. So if I would do this, see, it would like at first lock me out of oh wait, why do I have a full mask? That's okay. It would at first lock you out of you'll just jump over it and it won't pick it up, which is slow, loses a ton of time. So you want to avoid that. You just want to try to wait a little bit before you actually pick up the Mask Shard. So this is about what it looks like, what you should do. That is about the fastest it gets. Then after this, you pick this up. You want to wait for it to split. This is the Shard 4 split. Then you quit out. Do another mouse quit out. So we saved Sly. And we get back to the Dirtmouth bench. Right here, there's a slow zone to Sly's shop as well. So what we want to do is do one big jump, one really small jump. That was maybe a bit too big of a first jump. This is about what it should look like. Something like that. You optimally want to land as far, like, you can enter Sly's hut, or like Sly's shop, also from very far. Like, from here you can already enter it. So that's basically where you optimally want to land, which is not entirely doable in one jump, so that's why you do two, something like that. That's optimal. Talk to Sly, try to interact with him as fast as possible. I'm pretty sure you can, no you can't. Yeah. So, this little, thing right here, this triggers when you can start talking to Sly. As you can see, like, the beige rectangle. If you overlap with that, you can start interacting with Sly. So you want to just do that as soon as possible. Then you'll have to mash through some text with Sly, and you'll just spam this to buy the Mask Shard, and you're done. That's the entire run. I'll show the last split one more time. So that concludes the 4 Mask Shards current patch video tutorial. I hope this was of any help to you. Feel free to ask me any questions on Discord. My Discord tag is Zuivel, like my YouTube username, and hashtag 5606. Yeah, feel free to just ask me any questions. I don't mind helping out. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.